And with that, I think we are live. Hello, everyone, once again. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's a good day to sit down at your desk, gather your things, gather your pencils, gather your drawing pads, sketch pads, whatever you have on hand, and just get straight to creating some art or putting some work into your craft. You know, it's a good day for that. It's a Saturday. It's just good to get going, you know. And welcome to anyone that is here afterwards, and welcome to anyone that is here live with us. I've got a portrait here of this person that I found on the beautiful website Pinterest. So no silent drawing today. Just gonna get my little. Don't wanna. Ooh. Squeeze. I have this little. I have a little post-it note on my webcam that just blocks out this light that I have over here. So with that, it will look a tiny bit better. So yeah, here's the reference. The reference is always in the description below as well. What am I using? I'm using some Conte charcoal pencils. Oh, and I keep dropping these recently. I had to say goodbye to this guy because I dropped him, and then every time I tried to sharpen him, no good at all. Anyway, I'm gonna do something a little bit different with this stream. I've got some questions that I've written down that I kind of just want to talk about, some discussions. So while we're drawing, while we're sketching, learning how to do this, I'm gonna talk about some things. But first, let me get started. I want to make sure I get off on the right foot with this one. Just gonna go ahead and start with a circle, just as you pretty much always do. It's gonna be a bit harder to see on this paper, and I just realized I've already gone over. So let's adjust a tiny bit, just so you can see a little better. Adjust the light so it's not so harsh on the piece of paper there. Alright, hopefully that does a good job. If anyone is in the chat, hold on, I forgot to bring that up. Let me know if the audio and everything is all good. And yeah, let's get going with it. So I'm doing the usual, you know, I'm kind of trying to do stuff here with a little bit more measurement and a little bit more intention, which just happens to be a thing I want to talk about in this stream or video, depending on how you're viewing it. I'm just going to use my pencil very lightly to block in these different pieces of information for myself that I know that the ear is going to be around here, which coincidentally is also a circle. Most things are just very simple shapes, very easy to understand. And whenever we're doing any drawing like this or a sketch, we're just following what we see. Literally just following what we see. So we see that the brow line here is kind of, oh, maybe I've already followed it wrong. Let me get my trusty old kneadable eraser and just get rid of some of this. Sorry if you can hear stuff in the background. It is rather warm today, so I figured I would open the window for a bit. But the eye line is almost straight, or the eyebrow line. And then it goes into that curve, that famous curve here, where it begins to form into an ear. And I'm gonna just go as simple as I possibly can with all of this stuff, just so I'm not stressing myself out unnecessarily here. So straight lines. I don't know what the hell that is. Hopefully you can't hear that. There's some like high-pitched squeal in the background. So I'm just filling out all the information that I see on the reference, which, remembering that the reference is here for a reason, and I'm supposed to be looking at it pretty much more than I'm looking at my piece of paper, really. I should be paying respect to whatever it is I'm viewing and understanding it whenever I'm actually, here drawing this stuff and sketching it out. I'm trying to make sure I get good proportions, because I often actually have a bit of an issue with that. And I'm kind of just slicing everything I see. I'm slicing it into parts. This more or less is the straight line. I'm gonna have to extend this a little bit, because now after I've placed this straight line, I realize that I've maybe not filled in the shape as correctly as I would like it to be. So following also the skull line, this is where the upper jaw would pretty much be, leading to the cheekbones, more or less. It's always stuff we can adjust, but I want to make sure that things that I'm putting in here at the beginning are the right stuff. Now, just to make sure I'm using the right mic, not making that same mistake as I did before. Yeah. So let's just keep blocking this in. Now, as for the questions, things I wanted to talk about. Today I wanted to talk about, what is intention as a topic. So what I'm kind of doing here is mixing an art talk with just casual drawing, as I usually would, just to remember that the focus here is on the art and the intention, which kind of goes well with what I'm talking about here. My intention here is to get better at art, get better at drawing, get better at creating things with lines, with different tools, with pencils, pens. My intention is to learn this as well as I possibly can, so that I can go ahead and then pass that knowledge on to you guys and to anyone who wishes to listen to me. So that's my intention. And intention goes into many places. It's not just my intention with these videos. It's my intention with the whole process of art. What is my intention with this line that I'm placing here? I'm asking myself, when I talk about intention, in reality, I'm just asking myself why it is that I'm doing something. Why is this line being placed here? Why is the nose there? Why does this happen here? I'm not just putting a forehead here or starting the brow line here for no absolute reason. I'm doing it with intention. That means I've asked myself why it is that I'm putting it there, and I've found out why it is that I'm putting it there. And what does that do? That ultimately it leads to a better result for my art, because it is anatomically, that's the word, anatomically correct. It is the way it should be. It's the way that we perceive faces. It's the way we see faces. It's the way we understand it. And even someone who does not understand art, they will see a face. If it's done with intention correctly, and you ask why certain things go where they go, that's sophistication behind doing something that you love. See, you can do whatever you want, it is in life, but you have to do it with sophistication behind it. It has to be done right. And when you ask yourself why, that's when you start to do things right. It's when you start to understand and develop an understanding for your craft, and you start to ask yourself why something is, and you start to ask yourself, why is it that I'm putting an eye there? Why not over here? Why not here? Well, anatomically, there's a skull under here, and therefore this should be placed into consideration. And to make sure this is correct in every possible way, shape, or form, I need to make sure that the eye goes there. And I need to do that by searching for the skull under here, or by searching for something else, or searching for this line that goes across here and joins at the ear. We're doing all of this stuff, and at the beginning as an artist, this is really difficult to do, and it's very difficult for me to do as well right now. It's it's hard, but the more you do this, that's when you start to become more of a master, and you start to learn, and then you start doing this straight from your head. It's no issue for you to remember where this stuff goes to, and then you can focus on things like shape design and all that. But that's why I have a big push towards fundamentals at the moment, because my intention is to learn where everything needs to go so that I can focus on producing something more creative. And I'm learning how to do something with more sophistication. That's kind of the gist of it. And you may ask why. Why is there this sudden thought and sudden push towards this intention that I'm thinking about? Well, simply because I never did it. This is something I've never done in my life. I've always drawn and sketched because, well, it's something I can do and it's something I enjoy doing. But in reality, I think my art really suffers from it, because it's not right, it's not correct. There's a lot of things where if you look at it, you'll think that's off, that looks strange, why is that there? And if you asked me why is that there, I would not be able to tell you, because I have no understanding of it. I had no intention to earlier learn the understanding of this and then translate it onto this piece of paper. I had absolutely no intention behind that, and thus it fell flat. And that's why I suddenly have more focus on it, and suddenly I'm a lot more aware of this whole concept. So I don't even know if it's a concept of intention. Well, it's just in short, to make this as understandable as possible, I'm just more aware that things need to be a certain way for them to look right. I can't just say I'm an artist and put stuff on a piece of paper and expect people to fall in love with it, give me money for it, and listen to what I'm saying. I just cannot expect that. There is no reason why, if I'm not doing this work or this stuff right, there is absolutely no reason for you to follow me or for you to listen to my advice, because I won't lead you to the right way. And if I learn it, if I, put the time in, put in that 10,000 hours that everyone always says it has to be, which is true, it has to be 10,000 hours, then I have more right to tell you, hey, your artwork here, this shouldn't be here. You should not be placing your nose here, because anatomically that's not right. And if you really want to put your nose here and your eyes somewhere back here as a stylistic choice, you need to have the understanding of anatomy, and you need to understand that, hey, this is where that goes. I'm going to choose to do it differently. And that way it's going to look a lot more sophisticated, because you have the understanding, and it's not just going to look completely alien to you. Right? A lot of the things that people do well, and a lot of artists who are amazing at what they do, and hold on, maybe strayed a little bit too far with the eye there. See, not fully concentrating when I'm talking, but a lot of things that are absolutely fantastic and absolutely great are copies of things that are done well, and things that are done based on theory as well. Because theory is important. There's a reason why we learn it, and there's a reason why it shouldn't be skipped. It leads us in the right direction whenever we're doing something. And I've come to a point with this sketch where I have to do the eyes, and I know at the moment I suck at that. And I've started leaving it kind of to last, because it ends up ruining my drawings. But nevertheless, I hope I can make something decent out of this. Just quickly check something. Hoping you guys can see that pretty well. So what was I saying? Intention. I think that we need to learn reasons for something before we go ahead and change anything. That's the basis of this, of what I'm talking about here, especially when it comes to breaking rules. And you often hear the saying that you need to learn the rules before you break them, and that is absolutely true. Because what that really means is you need to learn all the basics that come with doing what it is you're doing, and then you need to try and see if you can break some rules. And that way, that's how originality is born. That's how you start to get more original with your ideas. Alright, well, I can tell that I've screwed this drawing up, but that's what practice comes in. I can tell that his face isn't exactly the way it should be here, because, well, that's not how it's supposed to work. His forehead is a lot bigger on the, or the top of the cranium is a lot bigger on the actual reference itself. But what I'm very happy with is the fact that I'm starting to be aware of things like this. Before I wouldn't notice, and I wouldn't understand why it is that this looks weird or strange. And in reality, it would be right there. But I just wouldn't understand how to read it. Going into precision mode for a minute. I'm also attempting to try and draw with shape more as well. So if I had the liquify tool, I would definitely adjust the shape of his head here. It's a much darker line here. So yeah, I want everyone here to understand the importance of the rules and learning the rules and the intention that it takes to understand them, because you need intention to understand rules and start playing by them. It's just something that needs to happen, because you need to ask yourself why something goes there, and that's something I feel like a lot of artists don't do, and that's when those artists will kind of fall flat. They won't reach that level, I reckon. I think the only way to really level up is to master your basics. That's the only way. That is the absolute only way that you're actually going to become incredible at something, is if you take every basic of everything that you are doing and you master it. That's the true key to becoming incredible at something. Or maybe a better word, becoming a professional at something. That's when you absolutely know everything about the basics of something, because complex things are made by doing the basic things well. Great, like, cool, complex, detailed art is made by knowing and understanding the details that get it there. Alright, let's try the eye. I've run out of my smooth newsprint paper, so this is the only thing that I have at the moment. Let me adjust the angle here. Maybe you'll get a better view of this. That looks a little better. Alright. I've also done this a little wrong, so I'm gonna try and adjust it now. Hello, how you doing, Elvis Master? Did I read that right? Yeah. Evil's Master, sorry, Elvis Master. I do think I have dyslexia occasionally, so Sorry for saying that wrong. I do not always see the letters where they should be, or where they are, I guess. I assume there's a letter there, and it turns out that never is. Going back into detail mode here, and there's a reason why I'm going into detail mode, is because my intention here is to create smoother lines. And then I'll go back to this because it's more freeing. Oh, that's awesome. What breed are you going for? I'm good. I've had another busy week, finally going around to making some content, sitting down, sketching some faces. I did another one earlier today, which felt nice to do. It's always good to be able to work. It's fulfilling when you finally get to sit down and do something that you love doing. Oh, I'm gonna have to search that up. I asked you like I'm an expert from on dog breeds, but let's have a look. I may know by the look. Ah, yes, these are awesome. Are they used as police dogs occasionally? They're very beautiful. They look a little bit like German Shepherds. It's a good good that you're drawing some animals. Animals are always a good stepping stone to work on. Yeah, it's hard sometimes, isn't it? Trying to fit like an actual drawing into our schedules, daily schedules. The real question is how important it is to us. It's very important to me, but it still just doesn't always happen. Maybe that just means it's not important enough. But it is. So it's always hard to tell. Nah. Yeah. So they're very intelligent. That's always a good very good breed for a police dog. So they're driven like us to create awesome art. Well, I'm glad you're getting to creating some art, because for me it's always nice when I get a bit of time to just sit down and focus on this, rather than sit down knowing that I have no time to focus on this, but trying to really squeeze in some artwork, and then I know it doesn't come out well because I've had to do this and I've had to do that. Probably even more, man. But they have a lot less on their heads, so they get to have that. We have more excuses. We have chores to do. We have this to do. We have this to go and file. We have this to go and buy. We have all these things getting in our way, trying to steal our time, and we've got to fight for it. We've got to fight for our time. Yeah. The more we fight for our time, the better it is for us, though, because we get more time to do everything we love and do the things that we really care about. You know, but it's definitely a lot harder to do that when you have like a 9 to 5 job, normal 9 to 5 job as well, because it's just that 8 hours of a day. People also say it's 8 hours. It's not 8 hours, because it's that hour that you get ready, and no, sometimes even more. It's that hour or more that you get ready. It's that hour that you travel. I'm lucky enough to live right next to my job, so I don't have to spend a lot of time commuting. So I get pretty much the 8 hours, but it's the mental toll as well, being at that job and finding it much harder to then focus on the stuff that you want. Oh, what's up? Oh, Abu, is that you? What's up, man? Good to see you in here. How you doing? So yeah, it's always good that we go and fight for our time, right? To do the things we love. How's your music going, bro? I'm decent. I'm decent. I'm just like I was talking, fighting for my time to get some of the stuff I really like done, and that's drawing and making stuff for the channel. I've been trying to go back to some traditional stuff, learning how to traditionally draw and sketch these people, learning the basics of everything pretty much. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me. That's a shout out to you, man. That's I'm glad people are enjoying them. At the end of the day, the thing I want to do most here is just either inspire someone to do something else or help them find something out about art that I couldn't when I was younger, you know? Oh, it's work experience. I did that as well. Yeah, that's it's usually quite nice when you get to figure out or try some profession. I always went as like a teaching assistant at a different school or at the same one I was at. It is very interesting, and you do get to learn a lot. So good on you for that. We're all doing the best we absolutely can. Some people aren't. Some people don't care as much as others, but I'm I'm finally at a stage where I start to care more, and now I'm actually trying to do something about it, rather than before it was just wasting time, not doing anything. Whoa, what's that? The attack from like a little thing here. What are you doing your work experience in, man? That's it's always interesting to see where people get into. I had issues getting into like other places, so I always went, oh yeah, I'll be a teaching assistant. But deep down, I actually always loved teaching people, so maybe there's a reason I went for it. I always thought, hey, it'll be good. Except I can never teach the stuff I really wanted to, because I was just an assistant. But cheers, man. Cheers, man. I really do hope stuff with you is going good as well. I know you were really into making music and stuff. I hope that's going well, man. And yeah, well, I just think everyone needs to go through that in life. You know, when I still waste time. I still waste too much time. There's days where I, get stuck on my phone and I just can't get off of it. Whereas in that time, I could have been making something for my channel, creating something new, or at least making some like assets for it. But I still waste the time instead. But I'm working on it. It's getting better. Eventually, it'll be at a good spot. Ooh, that's you went for a really cool one there. How's that? Is it like scary being there? Do you get to actually help out at the I don't know what you call them, but like the clinics inside? Oh man, that's awesome. You have a band. Sick. Now please do, man. I'd love to hear about it. I'm actually, yeah, I would love that. That's good to hear, man. That's awesome. When you get to do stuff with other people as well, that's always amazing. I've always been of the mentality to do something on your own and do it on your own, but it's good to have like a brotherhood to work with. So having a band, that's sick, man. What's the name? Do you have like some music out on Spotify or anything like that? I'd love to give it a listen later on. I won't be on the stream for too long today, well, just to finish this, but after that I'm definitely gonna check out anything you send through. He kind of looks like Eminem. Look at it. Oh man, yeah. Oh man, I found that when I was doing some cleaning in my documents. I found that album cover and I was like, oh, that was a cool project to work on. I remember that. Project Dream. Oh, no, it's a good name. Where's my pen so I can write that down? I know I'm holding a pencil, but I don't want to write with my charcoal. Oh, I'll write that down. Project. Been in Poland too long. I've been replacing my C's with a K. Project Dream. Alright, writing that down. I'm definitely gonna check it out, man. I'm really happy to hear that you've gone in that direction, man. I hope you never like give up on this as a dream, because there's been many times where I wanted to give up doing anything related to art, and that would have not been a good thing to do. That's you know what that's a really good work experience to have. That is I commend you for that. Very very nice. I think if you're there doing all that, you'll definitely have a lot of experience and you'll have a lot to talk about. I don't know if at your school you have to write a report about it. We did, sucked. Obviously, that was like the worst part of it, but you would definitely have a lot to talk about. And yeah, when you're writing it, just literally talk from the heart as if you're right there in that situation. And that's it. That is, of course, if you do have to do something like that, just write about it as if you're there. And I think people will, I think you'll get a good grade for that. I'm obviously not a teacher or anything, but I think that's kind of the stuff that worked when I was in school. Also, just remember to do it the way you love it. That's exactly it. That's why it becomes quite difficult when you've got like an actual job that you need obviously to put money on and food on the table, and then you after that 8 hours you come back to do whatever it is that you absolutely love, and it's so hard to put in that 100% of that energy there, especially for yeah, no, they always do, man, and they do. That's why I made a habit of like getting rid of as much social media as I can off my phone, and a lot of apps. That's what I'm actually quite hard to get in touch with nowadays, because I'm off most places. I just don't want them to be in my life at the moment, because all I know is they lead me to distraction. But yeah, it's a lot harder to put in all that energy afterwards into what you love when you're sat at work for 8 hours and putting in all your energy there. Because I work as a graphic designer, so it's also a creative job. I always thought about it whether I should go on to do something like labor intensive as my normal job, just so I can have that creative energy to put it into these videos and put it into my artwork. But I'm still very grateful for that job I have anyways, so it's it's a balancing thing. Oh man, yeah. No, I know you're exactly the same. That's why I'm very happy to hear that you're working towards the music and everything, because I know these things get hard, man. There's just days where you don't want to be associated with any of this stuff. Just it becomes a sometimes it becomes a burden, and I always feel weird saying that sort of stuff, because I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not doing the right thing if I think like that. But I think it's so normal for everyone to think. There's going to be days where you just have to suffer through them. There's no other way. Suffering is good, because it's going to lead us to actually do something better. It's going to lead us to work something out and think harder about what we're doing. More intention. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's going to lead us to that. So I commend you as well, man. I'm very, very happy to hear that you're going for that. Very good. Yeah, no, you're doing it the right way. Doing it very well. Keep some notes. Always have a notepad on you. Get something nice. Get something nice so you enjoy writing in it. I've hated the books at school, man. That was so terrible. Get a nice notepad that you enjoy writing in, and it's gonna make your life so much easier because you'll actually want to sit down and write something down. So get a nice notepad, get a nice pen, make it a nice ritual, and as you're doing, make sure you're writing this stuff down, and I think you'll be golden, man. It's good to have these notes, but you'll always remember the good things that happened and the things that you learned the most, because that's just going to be a solidified memory in your brain. So naturally, you'll always remember the stuff that's important out of all that. iPads with pens, yeah, those are good. I have one as well here. For me, it's good, but I hate writing on it because I'm more of a tactile person. I need tactile feedback with anything I'm doing. You can't see it, can you? I don't know, maybe if I don't. Look at that. I bought a typewriter recently. I bought a typewriter because I'm an old granddad, I guess. But I needed that tactile feel in my life. I needed something I need to think about a little bit more when I'm writing, because writing and stuff is not my strong point. So I figured maybe if I make it, just like I was talking about with the getting a nice notebook and everything, I need something with intention, something good to write on, and then I'll actually do it more. So, it's about getting these things and dialing it into your life and making sure that you enjoy using what you use. I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan. I say that, but I'm totally not. Minimalism is a great thing if you can practice it. I have a bit of a spending problem, so I can't be a minimalist, but I say get things that make you enjoy what you do the most. And those don't have to be expensive things. I've recently found that I enjoy drawing the most with these charcoal pencils, which are cheap, and some cheap newsprint paper. There's no massive investment in this, and you're just good to go. So I reckon you do that. You do whatever it takes to make the unbearable more bearable, I guess. Minimalism is great if you can do it. I've been reading a book recently on minimalism. What is it called? I forgot. Hold on. It's a good book. I do recommend it if anyone is into reading here. Goodbye Things, literally called Goodbye Things by Fumio Sasaki. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. It's a great book. I do recommend it. It's good for if you are trying to be a minimalist, and good if you're not, I guess, like me. Maybe it's gonna help me understand that things aren't as important as I think they are. But to me, I do enjoy it. I don't know why it keeps doing that, man. Sorry for the constant weird flicker. That's gonna get you far. Right, sorry, I'm not pointing in the wrong space. You're gonna get two things pointing at you. That's what you're doing very well. Reading is essential. I hated reading, probably because of school, man. Abu, you remember? I hated English class. It felt so forced, and you always had to analyze things that you absolutely don't give a shit about them, and you had to just sit there and analyze things, and it really made me hate reading. It made me absolutely despise reading. And now I love it. I love it because I get to read exactly what I want. If I'm reading a book that I don't like, I put it down. It's not the end of the world if you buy a book and you have to put it down, man. Oh man, thank you so much for being around here. Have a good meal. In Polish we say smacznego. That just means enjoy the food you're about to eat. So yeah, thank you for joining here, and have a good one as well. I appreciate you being here, man. And good luck with the report for your work experience and the work experience itself. But yeah, reading really sucked back in school. It's so much better now. Just like most things, really. I didn't like school. Alright. Well, if I look at the reference, that's it. Yeah, I have the same thing. I really want to get some old books that are out of print, and I'm excited to get those one day. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Enjoy that book. I'm sure it'll be a really good one. So yeah, I've screwed up the eye. Obviously, this eye should have actually been a little bit more here in the end. It does always actually look a little better in real life than it does on this camera. I don't know, maybe I need to get a better camera that makes this stuff look better, but it's not a bad attempt. I'm definitely, the best thing is that I'm seeing improvement in my work, which is ultimately what everyone wants to see, right? Everyone wants to see themselves getting better rather than getting worse. Get my reference back up. But that being said, I think we're pretty golden on this at the moment. There's not much else I can do without actually like fixing the eye. So I think that's gonna stay for another attempt. But rather happy with this, and good stream overall. I've been looking forward to getting to do this again. So I'll do that little wrinkle down here. Just gonna do a little bit more, some more prominent lines here, and get my points of focus exactly where there's much harsher shadows. That's where you want people to be looking. That's naturally going to be the places you want to make a lot darker. Just gonna add a couple lines, indicate some eyelashes. Some eyelashes going over here. Oh man, you too. I hope everyone's all good. Thank you so much for coming in, man. I do appreciate it. Good luck with everything that you're doing and the band. So yeah, take care, man. I'll talk to you later. Alright, I think that is where I should call it, because I'll ruin it if I do anything else. Let's make sure that I'm good with the details, and I'll do the date today, which is the 27/04/2024. It's just something I've started doing recently so I can keep track of my progress, and I'm gonna do a video on the folder once it gets pretty full, because I have a nice little folder for all of these. Anyways, good stream, I reckon. good drawing practice, good sketching practice. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. There's still things where mine need improvement. They're getting a little bit more they're looking a little bit more like it nowadays with the reference and the actual drawing that I'm doing, which is always a good thing. But there's obviously things that just don't seem to go the perfect way, such as the eyes here. Could have been a little bit more down here. That would have been a better use of that reference, better accuracy. But other than that, I do appreciate anyone that was here, anyone that watches this afterwards. If you did, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had a good time, and I hope that you practiced along as well, because I always encourage that you pick up the pencil for yourself and kind of follow along with everything that we're doing. So yeah, I hope that went well for you, and I hope you had a fun fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next stream video, whatever I do. So yeah, take care, get some good